Back in 1971, on November 24th, commercial flights in the United States and around the world had almost no security during boarding. And during one of these flights, a passenger handed a note to a flight attendant that said, "Miss, I have a bomb in my briefcase, and I want you to sit next to me." And just like that, one of the FBI's most iconic cases began. A case that was never solved. So whether you're sitting, standing, or even washing dishes right now, today we're going to tell you the story of D.B. Cooper, the man who hijacked a plane and was never found. It sounds like a movie plot, but this really happened, inspiring countless stories, movies, and even cartoons about his daring escape. On that day, a simple flight took off from Portland International Airport headed to Seattle, Washington, on the busy Thanksgiving Eve. The ticket cost just about $20 back then, and the flight was supposed to be short and easy, less than an hour. Shortly after takeoff, sharply dressed man in a black suit and dark sunglasses approached a flight attendant named Florence Schaffner and handed her a note. At first, she ignored it, thinking it was a joke or maybe even a pickup line. But the man insisted she read it, and when she did, she was shocked. The note said he had 6 sticks of dynamite in his briefcase and would blow up the plane if his demands weren't met. His demands: $200,000 in cash, that's roughly equivalent to over $1 million today, and for parachutes. He warned that if his demands weren't met, he'd trigger the explosives by simply touching 2 wires together. So, terrified but composed, Florence informed the captain in secret, making sure passengers remained calm by telling them the plane had engine trouble and would need to stay airborne longer. Meanwhile, D.B. Cooper, as he would later be called, sat calmly smoking a cigarette and sipping whiskey, the only passenger who knew exactly what was happening. The plane circled in the sky as authorities on the ground scrambled to gather the ransom money and parachutes. Hours passed until everything was ready, and finally the plane was cleared to land. Upon landing, the 36 passengers were released, completely unaware that they had just been part of a hijacking. Police delivered the briefcase with $200,000 in cash, along with 4 new parachutes, fulfilling Cooper's demands. But just when it seemed the crisis was over, the story was really just beginning. Cooper insisted on more parachutes because he claimed he had hostages in the plane, and after refueling and taking off again, the pilot was told to fly toward Havana, Cuba, as Cooper tried to escape the U.S. with the ransom. The plane flew down the West Coast, crossing state lines from Washington into Oregon. Then, somewhere between those states, Cooper opened the rear stairs of the plane and jumped out with the money and 2 parachutes, disappearing into the night, never to be seen again. The crew quickly realized Cooper was gone and contacted air traffic control to begin a massive manhunt. All they knew was that he had jumped somewhere in the dense forests and rugged terrain of the Pacific Northwest, leaving behind a black tie covered in over 60 fingerprints, none of which matched anyone in the FBI database. Over the years, thousands of suspects were investigated, but none fit the elusive hijacker's profile. It's important to note that D.B. Cooper wasn't even his real name. He actually bought his plane ticket using the name Dan Cooper. But a reporter mistakenly called him D.B., and the name stuck. Without a real name, a clear photo, or concrete leads, the FBI was chasing shadows. Their best guess was that Cooper had military training, perhaps a paratrooper or someone with knowledge of explosives. Because of how meticulously he planned the hijacking and his successful parachute escape, one suspect who stood out was Richard Floyd McCoy, a military veteran and experienced parachutist. Witnesses, however, said McCoy did not resemble Cooper, so he was quickly ruled out. Another suspect was Dwayne Weber, who had a criminal past and matched some details, but was also eventually eliminated. Many others came and went, but none could be definitively linked to the hijacking. After years of chasing leads, the FBI eventually closed the case, making it one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in U.S. history. Cooper had pulled off the perfect crime, hijacking a plane, escaping with hundreds of thousands of dollars, and disappearing without a trace. Interestingly, The case captured the American imagination and made Cooper something of a folk hero. A Robin Hood figure who robbed a big institution but didn't harm anyone. This romanticized image led many imposters to claim they were Cooper, wanting fame or notoriety. One such imposter was Richard Dick Bridges, who told a friend that he was Cooper and even claimed he had hidden some of the ransom money. Some of that money was found years later by a family near the Columbia River, sparking renewed interest in the case. Bridges had a history of parachuting and crime, but he lacked the experience to pull off the actual hijacking and was discounted. Another key suspect was Robert Rackstraw, a decorated Vietnam War veteran who closely resembled the FBI's sketch of Cooper and had the skills needed to pull off the hijacking. Rackstraw reportedly had unexplained money and a suspicious past, leading many to believe he could be the real Cooper. However, the FBI eventually cleared him as well. There are wild theories that Rackstraw might have worked for the CIA on secret missions, which could explain why the case never truly went anywhere. Maybe, some speculate, the CIA trained him to do the hijacking as a covert operation that went sideways. Whether true or not, the mystery remains unsolved. The FBI officially closed the investigation after 45 years, declaring Cooper's identity a mystery and the case cold. The $200,000 ransom Cooper took in 1971 would be worth millions today. Yet, only a few bundles of the money have ever been found, and Cooper himself vanished completely without a trace. Despite decades of searches, no one has ever confirmed seeing him alive after the jump. No body was ever found, and no solid clues have emerged. The story of D.B. Cooper remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries. It's inspiring movies, TV shows, and books, keeping his legend alive. So, what do you think? Was D.B. Cooper a criminal mastermind who pulled off the perfect heist, or a Robin Hood figure who captured the public's imagination? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this story. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing mysteries. We'll see you in the next video.